Tomorrow, September 11th, marks 24 years since the nation endured perhaps its most shocking moment. Two hijacked planes crashing into the Twin Towers of the New York's World Trade Center, a third in the Pentagon in Washington, and a fourth into a field in Pennsylvania after passengers tried to take back control. Close to 3,000 people were killed, including roughly 400 first responders. While we'll never forget the heartbreak and the heroism of that day, each year Americans also choose to honor 9/11 by turning remembrance into action through service. With us today is Winuk. He's the co-founder and the executive vice president of September 11th National Day of Service and Remembrance. Jay, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So many of us, when we talk about 9/11, which is actually my wife's birthday, we always talk about where we were on that day. Where were you?
Well, I was in my home office. I'm a New Yorker. I live about an hour north of Manhattan. I was in my home office doing some work and turned on the TV in time to see the second plane hit. I immediately started calling my brother Glenn, who was a partner at a law firm downtown, but also a 20-year volunteer firefighter and an EMT. So I knew if he was in the area, he was going to respond, and unfortunately he did, and he perished when the South Tower collapsed.
Wow. What was going through your mind as the day unfolded?
Well, it was frightening. You know, in the beginning, we were, my family and I, we certainly knew that Glenn knew how to handle himself. He was specially certified in building collapse rescue. He had responded in '93 when the Trade Center was bombed, but of course that time he came home. We were worried, and we got increasingly worried, though, when the towers came down, because we knew he had responded, and of course we couldn't reach him. And like so many of the other families, we held on hope for some days until the authorities told us this is no longer a rescue operation. But it was really nerve-wracking, and with each passing day, more and more upsetting, of course.
Yeah. What moved you to turn such a day like this, a day of heartbreak, into a day of service?
Well, it's an important question. Some of us, including my co-founder, David Payne, who's a good friend, we were recognizing the amazing way that people came together so spontaneously, so productively after the attacks, from 9/12 and then for weeks and weeks after. We put aside our differences, we came together as Americans, we came together as a global community. More than 90 countries lost people on 9/11. So we wanted to try to create a ritual in this country where each 9/11 anniversary, we rekindle that spirit of common humanity, of compassion, of togetherness. And so we started a grassroots movement that has grown into the nation's largest annual day of charitable engagement.
Yeah. Here in Atlanta, one of those big events on Thursday will be packing meals for those in need. Talk to us about the involvement here.
Well, some years ago, back in 2016, we started staging, because we began this initiative back in 2002. And by the way, it is one of only two National Days of Service recognized under federal law, along with MLK Day. And so we started staging our own, large-scale signature meal pack events, first in New York, and then we just kept adding and adding other cities because the response was so tremendous. So about 6 years ago, we started in Atlanta as one of those cities. Tomorrow, we will be in 24 cities with these meal packs. But what's happening is that more than, about 1,500 or more volunteers from the Atlanta area alone are coming together at Mercedes-Benz to pack non-perishable, shelf-stable meals that will then be donated to local food bank in Atlanta, the Atlanta Community Food Bank. And then they will distribute it to Atlanta families who are at risk of hunger. So it's really a tremendous outpouring of compassion from the local Atlanta community. We're thrilled about it.
Yeah, it turned out to be something huge, small, but then growing to something huge. What do you hope for the next generation as this carries forward? What do you hope they'll get out of this?
Very important question. There's been about 100 million people born in this country since the attacks of 9/11. 100 million people. So they have no direct memories of the attacks, nor do they have direct memories of how productively everybody in this country came together in the aftermath of the attacks. And so we want to teach them, and we do through our education program. We have free downloadable lesson plans on our website, 911day.org. And there's so much information out there about how people can get involved in the National Day of Service. But we want the next generation and the generation after that and the one after that to continue to pay tribute on 9/11 by engaging in service. And I'll tell you, so many people, it's so encouraging, so many young people now from this next generation participate in 9/11 Day, either individually or as part of organized activities. It's very inspiring.
Yeah. Jay, thanks so much for joining us. Condolences to you and your family, and thank you for what you're doing to our community and the example you're setting for all of us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. There's so many Atlanta companies that are supporting this, including Delta and Reliance and Home Depot Foundation and others, and we couldn't do it without the help of AmeriCorps, which is the federal agency that oversees a lot of volunteerism in this country. So a lot of people come together to make this happen. It's really an amazing outpouring of compassion and community spirit.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us.